BT Sport 2, make sure you join us for it, because do you know what, there is no better place to watch motorcycle racing and MotoGP in the world than here at track.
Look at it,
Michele Pirro.
Yeah, you can kind of just see how it just sweeps all the wind around, just visually. I'm not exactly sure what the concept is, but
Jack Miller is going to come across the line. He became the first rider to overtake Marc Marquez in a race since the opening Grand Prix. Might not meet the necessary stringent safety requirements, especially with some of the top speeds we're expecting this weekend.
And at the moment, we've only done one lap. It's going to be taken over. So, looking at after this first lap, I would say yes.
Depends how hot it gets, because if it gets really hot, then that just affects it.
Petrucci there, butt out of the seat, kind of right before he started braking. You almost have to stand on the pegs and let the bike do its move in the braking area. If you run middle of the track down here, you'll see he'll get far over to the right, hit the paint, and then from that point on, you're trying to get straight.
Through fast weather, Rossi fans will be sitting through Poggio Secco. Then you go left and right. This is Materassi.
And look at that top left there, 47.8. We're 3 laps in from Pirro, but 47.6, I think, is the fastest race lap by Marquez.
Marking of Alex Rins with 350 kilometers per hour, which is about 320 miles an hour.
And he's 4K in front of Miller, so I'm assuming he had at least a bike or a couple.
Going to be able to go on board. No, maybe not. That is Pirro wheeling. This is the new aerodynamic part they've got on the rear. They said before this weekend that Pirro had to say to his technicians, but it doesn't look dramatic, electronic or something.
Yeah, there's something going on that we don't know about.
There for Pirro, you can see they're taking off that, although they're going to have to take off that new little bit of rear fairing attached to the bottom.
What they do on the front of the bike, they've got those just on the lower side of the bike. It's not new technology. If you're a cycling fan, you'll have seen it in triathlons.
And that's, straight off the bat, 47.8.
New air intake and new fairing for the Bradley Smith was here. Iannone and Espargaro, I don't believe were here before this race, but they are allowed more testing, of course, as part of their concession.
Then you shoot for maybe top 8, then top 6, but it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Sporadic.
Yeah.
It's you don't know from race to race where you're going to be.
Well, it was Jerez where he didn't start the race, but still, they're expecting more. A little bit of a wobble on for the front of Fabio Quartararo and his Petronas bike.
Yeah, that's what happens when you wheelie.
Right, we're on board with El Diablo himself, Fabio Quartararo, who really has lit up the start of this season with some of his performances. Okay, 8th last time out in France.
Holland.
And I suppose, just as we had him on screen there, we've got to give a doff of the cap to Pol Espargaro, don't we? With the progress they're making with the KTM.
14th, I can't remember.
They all finished in the points. I will say that. Okay. All 4 KTMs were in the points last time.
So you can say they're making steps forward.
On course for pole, he had the pace, and it's just not there for Maverick as things stand.
We can say, who's the first Yamaha?
With a 328, you're giving up 22 kilometers per hour. You're talking there nearly 15 miles an hour.
Yeah,
14 miles an hour down the straight. Arrabbiata won't tank anymore.
No.
It's a tail section, pretty much.
Which I remember when they started doing that in the Yamaha, and it was as goofy as it was. Like the fuel tank was right there in front of you, and
yeah, a lot of people don't realise that thing sat on top of the bike for most of them. The front part of it now mostly is airbot, the issue that they didn't feel they could run at all. Oh, wow! Sideways into San Donato. That's not how to take turn 1, ladies and gents. Suzuki's here this weekend. Just seen Alex Rins' name pop up as we take a look at Mark around the track. We talk about how sweet that bike is in terms of handling and loves a fast corner. Sahara-san, who is the project leader for MotoGP, was away for a couple of years. Well, of course, when Suzuki weren't here, even when they came back, but they brought him back into the fold, and it seems to be paying dividends inside, where Jack Miller has made no bones about the fact he wants to be in that team. We heard his interview earlier on, and just in the body language and the way both Petrucci and Miller, and a factory bike.
So is it going to be a big difference for him to go to the factory team? It's going to be more pressure, that's for sure. And I like what he said.
It was a mistake because he didn't. And actually, once Dobby's passed, it's almost impossible to get past him again. And he said, I ended the race, factory bike effectively, in that Pramac team at least next year. That's in his deal. So that makes it even more interesting. Will Pramac take 2 factory bike? Will it become an extended machine? Yes, they've got the engine, but they've got front-end stability issues here and there.
Yep.
Well, he knows with the 2018 bike where he's at.
Yeah, and exactly.
He's round and maybe up towards turn 2 and 3, so the left-hander there. And he's already on his way back. It's not easy to get back from that part of the track.
That's big end right there. So
the party. One thing I seem to remember over the years is that Aprilia can build a bike. You can tell me this morning. They can build a bike that's powerful. Whether it lasts, goes right up there. The Aprilia of Iannone on Viñales, but Viñales very solid on the brakes down into San Donato, into Arrabbiata. I try and work out corners. I'm going round now thinking, it's a Arrabbiata 1 and 2. Up and over the rise. Well over 200 miles an hour.
Whoa.
But a decent start to the session, you have to say, for the second Italian factory. Espargaro Aleix is in 3rd and Andrea Iannone in 11th. So that's the questions here, Colin. I don't know. I thought this weekend we might see something from him. Winner here last year, let's not forget, on the Ducatis. Like, he is thinking, I thought I might be able to win at some point this year, but it's getting further and further away from him. But
to the Ducati, and then coming over here and having to adapt in a completely different riding style. You're asking a lot from a rider.
Because I always think, blue flags in practice, who's to say who's where? And Marshall Starr say, just to warn that there is someone behind you more than anything. But I do still find it comical. Too much for Mark to worry about. This is how it was on board with him. There's a left-right combination.
Actually 4th and 5th, so the Aprilia engine's quite strong. They're actually 10, 12 kilometers an hour faster than the Yamaha. So if they're going for increased drag, they're actually probably working a little.
Michael, you got any info that you can find out for us?
Haven't heard anything about the engine as yet, but looking at the aerodynamics, so Aprilia, they're the second.
The Aprilia, Yamaha, also Suzuki a little bit, have this really quick, kind of choppy.
Now he's up into 6th. He is 48.0. He is within half a second.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah. Petrucci.
What was the motor has? And you're having to handcuff it a lot to try and make it smooth.
Yeah, one of those things where if you start. No, it wasn't. I misread that there.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was just trying to stay with the draft, but did not expect
too much on the rider in front.
Maybe just a little bit.
Do you know what? Carol Abraham just went through on the time screens up into 16th. Most of the others out on the medium tyre. Haven't really talked about Valentino Rossi in this section. And he goes through in 12th place down.
On the Suzuki.
On the Suzuki.
12.5
miles per hour.
That's crazy.
Miller's on another word to him at Pol Espargaro. They had that weird moment a couple of laps ago. Petrucci up into second. 47.7. But at the end of it, we're still talking about Marc Marquez on top of the timesheets on his 5th lap. Didn't improve at any point.
Yeah,
and the lap coming in there. Interview with Alex Marquez to come at lunchtime. Then, of course, second free practice sessions. And we are live throughout the weekend with you, free practice 3.